Good morning, Jupiter. I'm Jason Dobular with your news for Monday, September 21st, 2020. As you all know, this is a big day for our school. Because as you can see, I have moved where I am doing the news to a different spot in my room. We've got the piano that I can barely play in the back. If you guys want to hear Hot Cross Buns with the Saint go marching in 700 times, goes marching in. I've got a very comfy chair, and most importantly, I've got Rule of Thirds going. Shout out to Miss Muncie and the Media Studies program. Now, in smaller news, today, many Jupiter Warriors, now Jupiter Warrior Pioneers, have returned to school in person, or as everyone is saying for some reason, brick and mortar. So to all of you brick and mortar Jupiter Warrior Pioneers, welcome back to the beautiful JHS campus. And now to Haley Grimes.
Thanks, Jason Dobular. Today is Save Promise Club Start with Hello Week. Staff and students on campus or virtually, we are really excited about you participating. Say hello to someone you don't know. Saying hello helps to contribute to a more friendly and inclusive environment. Smiling is contagious. Pass it on.
Important parking news. Juniors and seniors, if you signed up for a parking pass and were unable to pick up the pass during the allotted time, please plan on getting a ride for the first week. Remaining passes will be distributed as soon as possible. No cars will be allowed to park on campus without a pass. If you are not planning to return to brick and mortar, please email Coach Lang so he can redistribute the pass.
To keep us all sun safe and aware, Students Against Melanoma will have their first meeting of the year virtually on September 29th at 2:45 p.m. We welcome all new members, especially freshmen. To attend the meeting, please join the Jupiter High Students Against Melanoma Club Google Classroom with the code FQZGTFB. On the day of the meeting, Tuesday, September 29th, there will be a Meet link posted before the meeting. Email us Rogers if you have any questions.
Jupiter Warriors Boys Lacrosse. Any potential new players need to email jupiterwarriorslacrosse@gmail.com with their name and cell number along with their parents' legal guardians' names, cell numbers, and email addresses as soon as possible. We hope to have a meeting in the near future so we can provide information about the upcoming lacrosse season. And now to Kirsten Fisher with the birthdays.
A very happy birthday to Regina Arguel, Angela Arvalaga Ramos, Seth Britt, Jade Kaznov, Rosa Delgado Chavez, Mia Lambert, Mina Robinson, Nicole Stephen, and Annabelle Whitley. Not only did we have today's birthdays, but on Saturday we had our very own Haley Grimes' birthday and my mom's birthday. Happy birthday. Well, belated birthday.
Happy belated birthday to both Haley and your mom, Kirsten. Now we conclude today's news with Mr. Lang and Mr. Colum with important tips on how to have a successful year. Have a great day, Warriors, and to all my Jupiter Warrior Pioneers, have a great first day of brick and mortar.
Good morning, Jupiter High School. My name is Coach Lang, and I'm one of your assistant principals. I hope those of you that are returning to school are as excited about returning as we are to see your smiling faces. Today I'm going to go over what we call the Warrior 5. You upperclassmen have heard this before, but the students that are new to Jupiter High School, this will be a first time, so please pay attention. I will not insult your intelligence by reading every single bullet, so please, at the completion of this, feel free to go on our website if you would like more detailed information. The first thing I'd like to talk about is tardies and absences. Tardies and absences, both virtual and in person, will be recorded in SIS. Excessive tardies will result in disciplinary actions. For you upperclassmen, if you have a parking pass, that is something that could be in jeopardy if your tardies become out of hand. As you know, inconsistent attendance negatively impacts learning. You're expected to be present, whether distant or virtual, either distant or live classrooms. And during the Google Meets, if you are virtual, you are expected to have your cameras on and your mics muted. Next, we'll talk about cell phones. Cell phones should not be seen or heard in class. If they cause a disruption, they will be confiscated. Taking videos or pictures without permission is definitely not permitted. Please, while you're in school, we are allowing you to wear one earbud, only one, so that if we have to get in touch with you, you can hear the directions given by the adults. Refusal to give up your cell phone to any staff member will result in disciplinary referral and/or loss of privileges. Dress code. Students are expected to adhere to our dress code at all times. Skirts, dresses, and shorts and pants with tears bearing skin more than 4 inches above the knee are not permitted. Pants below the hip line or excessively baggy or frayed are not permitted. Shirts and blouses that do not reach your waistline. Please make sure that you cover your midriff. Shirts with straps fewer than 3 inches in width. Not 3 fingers, but 3 inches. There's a difference. No bedroom slippers, pajama, hats, bandanas, hoods, except for medical or religious reasons. Sometimes we will have dress-up days, and on those days it may be pajama day, so then it would be okay. But the rest of the time, don't come into school like you just rolled out of bed, please. And then obviously, any attire with crude images, profane, obscene, anything that promotes gang affiliation, illegal substances, or anything that could cause injury to others, such as like the wristbands with spikes on them. We don't want those. Hall pass. This year, because of the situation we're in, we're going to have 3 different options. Your teacher will choose what option they want. The first option is, just like normal, you'll bring your agenda to the teacher. They will sign it with a different pen. The second is some teachers will be provided with paper one-time use passes. Same thing, you will fill that out, they'll sign it, and then when you return, you'll throw it in the garbage in front of the teacher. And finally, we have set up a QR code system. It goes onto your phone, you'll take a picture of the QR code, and it'll keep a list of what time you left and what time you came back in, so the teachers can keep track of all of that. Next, sign in and sign out. This is important. If you're arriving after the start of the day, you must go to the main office and get a pass to class. Doctor's note or court documentation may be necessary for an excuse pass. The notes must contain your name, your student number, date, time, and reason. If you are planning on leaving early, please come to Student Services in the morning before your first period class and give the clerk in Student Services your pass that says what time you are leaving. That way, when it's your time, you will be called out, you can walk straight to Student Services, and the pass will be waiting for you. If you do not do that and you have a doctor's appointment in 5 minutes, I cannot promise you that you will get your pass in 5 minutes. It just depends on how busy we are in Student Services at that time. So please come before school to hand in those notes to leave early. Finally, zero tolerance. Palm Beach County School District defines zero tolerance to mean that certain kinds of misconduct will always lead to a disciplinary consequence, such as possession, use, or storage of tobacco products is a 2-day out-of-school suspension minimum for the first offense. Alcohol products, 5-day out-of-school suspension minimum for the first offense. Drugs or drug paraphernalia or prescription medication, 5 days out-of-school minimum and a referral to law enforcement. Sale or intent to sell, distribute of drugs, imitation drugs, or prescription medicines, 10 days out of school minimum and a referral to the law enforcement. Bringing or possessing a firearm or any type of weapon at school or school function will result in immediate expulsion and referral to law enforcement. Making a threat, false report involving school or school personnel's property, school transportation, or a school-sponsored activity will lead to immediate expulsion and referral to law enforcement. That's all I have for you today. Next coming up will be Mr. Cullum. He's another assistant principal. I hope you guys have a fabulous day. Please feel free to go back and check our website, to go over these rules again to make sure that we start the school year off in a positive direction. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach Lang. My name is Mr. Collin. I'm an assistant principal here at Jupiter High School, and I have the honor of introducing you to our administrative team and our guidance counselors. Although you may recognize them on social media under the names of Baby Westside, J Sizzle, and C-Dog, here are their official names that you need to address them by at school. Your administrators are Ms. Diversa, Mrs. Saunders, Ms. S. Diaz, Mr. Lang, Ms. Foss, Mr. Sanders, myself, Mr. Collin, and Coach Tharp. For your guidance counselors, you have Mr. Wasserman, Mrs. Turney, Mrs. Ferreira, Mrs. Cataldo, Mrs. Thornton, Mrs. Wober, my personal favorite, Mrs. Hand, Mrs. DeCabia, and Mrs. Arriero Fajeda. Also, where to turn to at JHS. You may have hundreds or thousands or maybe even one specific question. I'll just highlight a few. Transcripts or 504 plans, please contact your counselor. For ACE program questions, Mrs. Saunders is that person who you need to talk to. It's always great and an honor and privilege to talk to Ms. Potts, aka Mrs. Potts, and Mrs. Miller for your textbooks, media center, SIS, or announcements, concerns, questions, or compliments. And for the best food in the county, no pun intended, Mrs. Best is the cafeteria manager for school food services. And any police issues, Officer O'Sullivan will be, on campus to assist. In reference to guidance in the hundreds of questions that you may have, if you do have an individual question or concern, please email your guidance counselor directly and allow them 24 to 48 hours to get back to you. Most of your questions, however, can be answered and found on our school website under the guidance counselor or the counselor guidance tab. And seniors, rolling out new this year is your College and More section of our website. It is filled with very pertinent and life-changing information. And at this time, due to the current situation, in-person meetings with counselors may be limited. So it is best to reach out to them via email. And with everything going on and the change from distance learning to in-school to a combination of both, social emotional learning, well-being, and mental health support is sometimes desperately needed. For your social emotional well-being and mental health support, we have 3 awesome people that will be able to assist and provide that support. Dr. Sean Hutton, Mr. Joseph Almeida, and Mrs. Natalie Diaz, also known as Mrs. Diaz 2.0. So please reach out to one of our school behavior health professionals if you need a moment to talk. Thank you, and have a wonderful afternoon or day or year. I don't know when this is airing.